Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're taking a look at 10 Xbox games that unfortunately got axed mid-development.
They were building magic heroes, and that mixture just gives a lot of variety to different types of players.
Who's ready for a little swordplay?
Before we begin, we publish new videos all week long, so be sure to subscribe to MojoPlays and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. Scalebound. This was a rather unique moment for both Platinum Games and Xbox, as the two were prepared to show the power of the Xbox One with this title. Scalebound had been in development for a long time, going all the way back to 2006 when Platinum Games first opened its doors. It wasn't until 2013 when development truly started, planned to be an action RPG with 4-player co-op support. Despite some positive reception to what little gameplay was shown, the project fell apart. Since Scalebound's cancellation in 2019, various heads from Platinum have revealed that the team was not prepared to tackle an online-focused game like this. Studio head Atsushi Inaba stating that Scalebound, quote, didn't do all the things that we needed to do as a developer, end quote, and that, quote, both sides failed, end quote. As a result, Scalebound is now dead in the water, as the deal between Platinum Games and Xbox meant that Microsoft would own the Scalebound IP. Platinum staff have made their desire to return to the project publicly, but Xbox has not said anything on the matter. Banjo-X. Long have fans of the Bear and the Bird been wanting a tried and true third game? Well, we were only inches into that dream becoming a reality. After the release of Conker Live and Reloaded, Rare decided to try and remake Banjo-Kazooie just as they did with Conker's Bad Fur Day. Alas, the project did not get far. Some artwork was made, Mumbo Jumbo got a 3D model, and there was supposedly a functioning 4-player co-op mode. There was even talks about how to make Gruntilda compete against the player, as they both try to accomplish the same tasks. Two problems cropped up from this. One, the folks at Rare deemed the AI needed would be too difficult for the Xbox to handle, and two, development was starting in 2004, and the Xbox 360 was launching very soon in 2005. Rare would move on to a kart racer starring Banjo and Company instead, known as Banjo-Kazooie, which allowed players to swap vehicle parts to build their dream vehicle. However, it only got as far as the prototyping phase, and everything from both that and Banjo-X would eventually be recycled into nuts and bolts. But it wouldn't be the last attempt at an Xbox kart racer. The Fast and the Furriest.
We aim to make each feel special, giving them appropriate real-world vehicles that match their style. Players could affect and be affected by the environment.
Rare did have plans for a multiplayer game that would reunite Banjo and Conker. The Fast and the Furriest was originally planned to be a party game where players competed in a variety of minigames starring various Rare characters. However, the game changed at some point into a kart racer. Serving as a spiritual successor to Diddy Kong Racing, players could race as Banjo, Joanna Dark from Perfect Dark, Saberwolf from Killer Instinct, Rash from Battletoads, and many others across a wealth of tracks. Conker was noticeably not going to be involved this time.
Well, lucky I brought this as well in.
Ideas included building your own vehicles with interchangeable parts, and even using character-specific powers to destroy and build parts of the track mid-race. Trophy Thomas from Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts was also going to be a part of the game as an original character. No reason was given as to why this game was cancelled. Perfect Dark Core.
I'm part of an elite commando team. I do the jobs you never hear about.
Despite the rough launch of Perfect Dark Zero, we were about to get a third game in the series, and it would have been a bigger departure due to both teams of the two games already working on other prototypes. And so, Perfect Dark Core was to be developed by Chris Seaver and the Conker's Bad Fur Day team.
Oh, really? That doesn't surprise me. What?
The team planned to go a much darker approach with this one, a story more serious where Joanna's mental stability would deteriorate while uncovering yet another alien conspiracy. The world was also planned to be more open with some parkour and RPG mechanics thrown into the mix. While you can find videos of animations and gameplay, the project was eventually canned. Part of this was due to the team suddenly losing a couple of members as they were sent to other projects. However, Seaver points to Zero's awful sales and the explosive popularity of Halo. Here's hoping Crystal Dynamics and the initiative's Perfect Dark reboot revitalizes the IP.
Once you open this door, there's no going back.
Fable Legends.
Albion is not just a sunny, sort of forest-filled area with beautiful roses. There's also darker parts to it, and so our characters reflect those darker parts.
Born a stranger, die a stranger.
Poor Lionhead Studios was one of the first major victims in Xbox's mismanagement problems. After a tumultuous period of trying to make Kinect games, Fable the Journey didn't exactly pan out too well. Lionhead started working on a new Fable game that would focus on online multiplayer. Set 400 years prior to the first game, Fable Legends was to be a MOBA dungeon crawler where a villain player would create quests for the hero players to take on, throwing whatever enemies, traps, and more to foil their mission.
Once people get into it, they learn how to play villain. They're kind of addicted to it.
A beta was conducted before the project was unceremoniously canceled in 2016, just months before launch. Some of Lionhead's staff showed up to the studio only to be greeted by an email and told to attend a meeting, saying that the studio was shutting down immediately by order of Microsoft. A few others were already aware of the studio's potential shuttering by this point. Today, Xbox heads say they're regretful about closing Lionhead Studios, with some heads, former and current, taking the blame for the decision. And then, Tango Gameworks shut down early in 2024.
For the honor of Albion!
Are you going to play on the hero side of the game, or are you going to be the villain and mastermind the game against the heroes?
Dead or Alive, code Kronos. While it wasn't a project from an Xbox first-party studio, Koei Tecmo's Dead or Alive series has a storied history with Xbox, with Dead or Alive 3, Ultimate, DOA 2 Ultimate, DOA 4, Extreme Beach Volleyball, and Extreme 2 all being exclusive to Xbox and Xbox 360. Code Kronos was to be yet another installment exclusive to Xbox 360. In a 2006 interview with Play Magazine, creator Tomonobu Itagaki announced the game and revealed that it would focus on Ayane and Kasumi before the events of the first Dead or Alive. Then, things went quiet until 2010, when then Team Ninja head Yosuke Hayashi announced Code Kronos was cancelled. Within these 4 years, Itagaki had found himself embroiled in sexual harassment allegations and was suing Koei Tecmo for missing bonuses that were supposedly promised to him during Dead or Alive 4's development. Itagaki left the company in 2008, roughly 2 years after Code Kronos was announced, and Dead or Alive continued without him until Dead or Alive 6 ended post-launch support in 2020. Sundown.
Ultimately, you'd have to find a place that you could fortify and rig with traps, because when the sun went down, these infected creatures would descend in their droves looking for their next victims.
Yeah, we aren't quite done with Rare yet. There's been a lot of canceled Rare projects. Turns out the studio was taking a second crack at horror in 2006, the first being 2004's Grabbed by the Ghoulies. Whereas Ghoulies had that usual cartoony style Rare had become known for, Sundown was to be much more realistic and gritty. Players would survive and fight a parasite that could mutate its host into horrific monstrosities. You scavenge for supplies and bolster your defenses during the day, then fight the parasite at night.
The host would take on the characteristics of the parasite: bumpy, translucent skin, tentacles, and sharp bony protrusions.
Why the project was canned, we may never know, but there is plenty of concept art and even some footage of a rough prototype to view online.
A new team within Rare picked up the idea and created a prototype over a few weeks that showcased some of the survival features.
Project Titan. Before Halo Infinite took things to an open world format, we were going to get a Halo game just as big in scope. At least it seemed that way at the time. Project Titan was the codename for a new MMO set in the Halo franchise, and it was going to be developed by Ensemble Studios, the company behind the Age of Empires games. And Microsoft was dishing out the money to make this happen, as they were planning to use it as a competitor to World of Warcraft. Yeah, good luck with that. Money was injected into building an entirely new branch for Ensemble. The game would have utilized a cover system, Scion for special abilities, the game's mana, basically, and a different art style to distinguish itself from the rest of the franchise. However, burning $90 million does not guarantee your success, and as it turned out, the new office never even started construction because Microsoft planned to close Ensemble as soon as Halo Wars was finished.
This is Spartan Group Omega. If they want war, we'll give them war.
Titan was quickly cancelled while Halo Wars wrapped up development, and leadership within Microsoft changed. Don Matrick was put in charge of Xbox, and he proceeded to shut down Ensemble anyways. All in the name of profitability.
I couldn't stop them. But you can. You have to.
Consider it done.
Conker Goin Medieval. Last Rare game before we hit our final entry, we promise. Rare has seen a wealth of cancelled projects, like I said earlier, and Conker has seen quite a few of them. Of them all, Goin Medieval had the most promise. Give or take. After launching Conker Live and Reloaded, Chris Seaver had wanted to go in the direction of online multiplayer with a focus on death, the character, and a theme on medieval fantasy.
The Demolisher became the Battle Mage, the Long Ranger became the Musketeer.
Classes from Live and Reloaded would expectedly be changed to fit the game's aesthetic, but character art is pretty much as far as the project got. But from the way Seaver has talked about it, it sounds like Goin Medieval would have just been a standalone version of Live and Reloaded's multiplayer with a different coat of paint. Odyssey. This might be one of the first cancelled games Activision Blizzard has seen under Big Daddy Xbox. In 2017, Blizzard Entertainment began work on a new survival game they dubbed Odyssey, with a team of 200 people. Players would travel across various portals, gathering resources in servers of up to 100 players. However, development was constantly plagued by the online limitations of Unreal Engine, causing the team to switch to Synapse, which caused further issues. And that's without mentioning the massive toxic workplace lawsuit and the Cosby Suite scandal that Blizzard found itself in 2021. Once Microsoft acquired Activision Blizzard, staff had their fingers crossed that they'd be able to switch back to Unreal. Microsoft had other plans though. In January 2024, Microsoft enacted a round of layoffs across all of its sectors, including Blizzard Entertainment, which led to Odyssey getting canned. Some of the staff were simply moved to other projects, while everybody else was laid off. Hope you all bounce back.
The war chief will be pleased by your success.
Was there an Xbox game here you believe would have been a smash hit? Let us know down in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe to MojoPlays for more great videos every day.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, there's more where that came from.